It's all about horses and hearts. We're visiting with Tammy Eaves of the American Heart Association. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Myrtle Square Mall. We're at the office of the Myrtle Beach Herald-Star, a locally owned and operated weekly newspaper. And we're visiting with Tammy Eaves, Regional Director of the American Heart Association. Good morning, Tammy. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for inviting me.
Incredible opportunity to have the fourth day here on horses, obviously to focus on the ride-a-thon, but truly to focus on the 9th annual Heart Ball, the Radisson's grand opening gala presenting the 9th annual Heart Ball, to focus on the Heart Walk, the upcoming Heart Walk in the fall, but to think about Monday with Pegasus, Tuesday and Wednesday with the carousel horses here in the city of Myrtle Beach, and now to focus on you and the American Heart Association. It's great to get towards the end of the week. Can we talk real quick about yourself, Tammy? Are you originally from the area?
Yes, I grew up in Aner, just west of the waterway.
Yeah. Do you still have family in Aner?
All of my family lives in Aner.
Is that right? Do you get over there often to visit?
They would say not as often as I should. Stay too busy raising money for the American Heart Association, but I do get there quite some.
And raising money for the American Heart Association is a year-round job, Tammy.
Oh, yes.
It really is.
And then some.
Why do you do it?
Several reasons. My grandfather died of heart attack when he was 42 years old. So it's in the genes of all of my family. Most of the men have not lived past 60 years old. They all have died from heart disease. So I'd like to see that change, and the American Heart Association has made incredible strides in being able to do research and fund projects that, for example, if my grandfather had lived today, he would not have died because of some of the advancements that the American Heart Association has made. But years ago, they didn't have all of the technology that they have today. He would have needed a pacemaker. That's something that the American Heart Association has actually funded. And today, of course, lots of people live for years and years with pacemakers.
Mm-hmm. So. That's amazing, Tammy. When you think about it, to actually be able to qualify a grandfather who died at age 42 to be able to think through the activities the American Heart Association has done over the years, even your years of involvement, to think that actually changes have been, or improvements have been made such that your grandfather's life could have been spared. That's amazing. When you think about all your years with the American Heart Association, can we highlight some of the advancements that have been made in fighting heart disease and strokes, even just over your years of involvement with the Heart Association? Sure.
One of the most incredible advancements has been the automated defibrillators. They have been out for about 10 years, but used by businesses. A lot of businesses purchase them and have them in malls and on golf courses, airplanes. Almost every airline has an automatic defibrillator. What that does is, of course, when somebody has a heart attack, you can just grab one off the wall and it will walk you. There's instructions to walk any lay person through, shocking somebody, bringing them back to. And that's when we lose about 50% of the people who have a heart attack. If they can receive advanced treatment within the first 5 minutes, their life will be spared. Wow. But it's sometimes you hear about a lot of folks who die on the golf course. It's because it takes so long to get the ambulance there, the trained medics out on the golf course to save the person. But if there were automatic defibrillators at every golf cart, of course, that wouldn't happen. And that's a lot to think. But most golf courses do have automatic external defibrillators. So
wow. I was not aware of that. Mm-hmm. Tammy, how many years have you worked with the American Heart Association?
13.
13 years, all within the Waccamaw division?
Yes. When I started working for the American Heart Association, it was actually, my territory was called the PD region. Mm-hmm. There was not an office in Florence. Therefore, I supported the Florence area as well as the Myrtle Beach area. Mm-hmm. And after I'd been here about 4 years, of course, it all starts with raising money. We generated enough income that we were able to open an office in Florence. And then I supervised that territory. up until about 2 years ago, and now I supervise the New Hanover area as well as the Grand Strand area.
So you were supervising the PD area or the Florence area until about 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord, I wasn't aware of that. That's fantastic. Well, I can see why surely the strides that have been made in New Hanover and Brunswick County, in that area where they're seeming to do well with new directors that have come into place, and within the Waccamaw Division, Horry and Georgetown County, where there's really not a person who's been involved with the American Heart Association or volunteered in some way that hasn't known about your involvement with the organization. 13 years. Right. That's fantastic. When we talk about the three things we want to focus on today, the 9th annual gala, the ride-a-thon, and the Heart Walk, this is all old hat to you, but
right.
Every year is different.
Right.
Every year is different. Let's talk about the Radisson's grand opening gala, which featured the 9th annual Heart Ball. What exactly does that mean? The Radisson had a gala, and they feature the Heart Ball.
The Radisson, of course, is the new hotel with the connected with the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. And they've been open about a month, and they asked us in the fall if we would join forces with them and combine our efforts for their grand opening gala. As you know, most businesses have some sort of a grand opening when they do open up. So it was a good fit for us and a good fit for them because they got to promote the Heart Association. We brought in the clientele to the Heart Ball that they wanted to be bringing into the Radisson. So we just joined forces, worked together. They provided things, we provided things, and I think it was a good match for both of us.
Yeah, and they were able to bring in a ton of meeting planners from all over the area.
Yes, they did. I think they had about 150 meeting planners from throughout the country, and I hear they booked some good business as a result of that. So not only the Radisson, but the city of Myrtle Beach will benefit from the business that was booked as a result of the Heart Ball.
Fantastic. So the event was held at Myrtle Beach Convention Center, which is where it had been held for a number of years prior to going off to Kingston Plantation last year and now coming back to the Convention Center this year.
Right.
That's fantastic. Well, can you give the viewers a sense, if they hadn't been to the Heart Ball, if they didn't go to the ball on February 22nd, just what the experience was like when they arrived, when patrons, I think there were, 980 folks that were served that night? When those 980 folks were arriving over the course of the evening, what would they have experienced when they first arrived? Just give us a sense of what all happened during the night.
Okay. It was a beautiful evening. First of all, we had just a great outpouring from the community that wanted to support this event. It was the biggest event we've ever had. Of course, with you mentioning we had 980, almost 1,000 people served for dinner. When people arrived, of course, they were greeted by valet services and cars were parked. They entered the Radisson. We had the whole event was decorated as a passport theme. There was various countries that you could visit in the Radisson, and they provided different types of ports with different types of food and decorations to match those ports. And folks could have a tour of the hotel. They would get their a passport stamp, and great thing about the passport was at the end of the evening someone actually won a trip to Aruba. So that made it very interesting for folks to want to visit the passports and visit the various ports. Then, of course, we had our auction that was held in the Grand Ballroom and had great auction items, and the auction actually brought in over $60,000 that night. So it was an awesome opportunity for us to make additional revenue at the event. And then dinner was served at 8 o'clock in the actual convention center, but it was elaborately decorated. If you had never been to the convention center, you wouldn't have even known that you were not in a grand ballroom. And we moved the event the week on Tuesday before the event from the ballroom to the convention area because of just the generosity of the folks who wanted to come to the event, and we moved it over there. It was very well decorated, just a spectacular event. And there was surf filet mignon and lobster, incredible dinner. We've heard nothing but compliments on the food. And then chairman of the board performed, and the showman performed. Dance music starting around 8:30 and performed to midnight. That was excellent entertainment. They both did a great job. Then for folks who wanted late night cordials and desserts, they could go back to the Radisson and share in those. In the bar area, there was a jazz band and excellent desserts that were prepared over there. A lot of folks took advantage and stayed at the Radisson. They offered a discount rate for all of our guests. So a lot of folks stayed overnight. So they made it a overnight opportunity.
Almost an
Wonderful.
entire weekend,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've been able to travel to town on a Saturday, experience that whole thing, get, as you say, a discounted rate. I think it was $65 a night for rooms there, which was unbelievable, in a convention center hotel. And the experience was surely an experience of a lifetime.
Yes.
Our goal is to top it next year, obviously.
That's right. That's right.
To try to top it next year. The ways that funds are raised in an event like that, Tammy, is primarily through ticket sales, through sponsorships, and through the auction itself.
Right.
Those are the three ways.
Those are the three ways.
And there were even some new sponsors this year at the event. Who were some of the major sponsors of the event? So, how many sponsors did you have total?
We had 60 sponsors, which is much more than we've ever had in any year before this year. We actually will net over $200,000. So this was an incredible fundraiser for us, larger than any that we've ever had. Some of our sponsors were Grand Strand Regional Medical Center. They're a major sponsor each year, as well as Conway Medical Center. They're also a great supporter of all of our events. We had a new sponsor at the platinum level this year, Watkins Services, which was wonderful to see a new company come in at that level. And then we also had a lot of gold sponsors. Some of our gold sponsors were Alif Wines, Associated Insurers and First Federal, Brandon Advertising, Cardiology, Gastroenterology Associates, Georgetown Hospital System, Grand Dunes Development Company, and Burrs and Chapin. Inlet Cardiopulmonary Associates, Phillips Cardiac and Monitoring Systems, R. Jordan Jewelers, Redline Power Sports, and WESI, which is Wetland and Environmental Services Incorporated.
Right.
So we had a lot of excellent gold sponsors, and we had a number of silver sponsors and bronze sponsors, really too many to get into right now. Another one of our platinum sponsors was Alltel. Alltel has been a big supporter of the Heart Association with all of our events as long as Alltel has existed, and even before when there were 360 Communications. So we had a large number of our tickets were actually consumed by sponsors. We almost sold out just in corporate sponsorships.
Wow. Damn.
So ticket sales were really something that we got into at about 2-3 weeks before the event, and we actually had to change our whole planning process and make the event larger because we had so many people that wanted to come.
Golly, Tammy, just as you think about it, of course, the Radisson was the presenting sponsor.
Right.
They were the big daddy, as it were,
Right.
and surely sponsoring, bringing in chairman of the board and the showman for an event. Hopefully, again, we can try to get big headlining bands for years to come.
Right.
Those help draw large crowds. Where's the money spent that's raised at a Heart Ball, Tammy?
The majority of it is used for research, and about 50% is research and about 50% is education. And of course, research in South Carolina, the majority of that is done at the Medical University of South Carolina. They work on many projects, and last year, actually, out of all the money raised in South Carolina, there's also monies that we can get from our National Center for Research Projects. So we raised almost $3 million in South Carolina, and $3.42 million were actually given to South Carolina for research projects. So $42 million more than we actually, not $42 million, $420,000 was given back to us from the National Center more than we raised. So our numbers are great. In the Charleston area, they can say over $2 of every dollar raised actually comes back to Charleston.
Wow.
So, which is, of course, we know if research is done anywhere in the country is going to benefit everybody in the country.
Right. Where we really have a prevalence of heart disease and strokes. I think a doctor, when we were promoting the Florence Heart Ball, a doctor had said that the PD area is really the the belt buckle
right.
of the stroke belt of America, and it is that's a huge deal. And of course, the American Heart Association is not only fighting heart disease but also strokes.
That's right.
Which is a big deal. Any plans for the 10th annual gala, Tammy?
We are working on that now. Of course, it's going to be. We know it's going to be a challenge for us to top what we've done this year. We're looking at all kinds of avenues, and we haven't finalized any details. But I would say if you want to attend the 10th annual Heart Ball, please go ahead and get your call into us, get your name on the list, because we had about 200 people on a waiting list this year for the Heart Ball that did not get to come. Typically, folks along the grandstand like to wait to the last minute to RSVP, and if you do that, you may not get a ticket. So if you're interested in coming, go ahead and give us a call now and get your name on the list.
And if a viewer was associated with a corporation and they want to lock up a sponsorship in the future, is there something they need to do now, possibly budgeting for the future? Is there?
Sure. A lot of folks will tell us that they can't give a corporate sponsorship because it's not in their budget. A lot of folks start their budgeting process like July, some in October. Others, of course, is year-end. But at any rate, think about the Heart Ball. If you need us to get you something, a lot of times a company will need something in writing before they can get it in their budget. They just need to call our office, and we can get something to them, as soon as they ask. So we have a lot of information that we can get to any business or individual who's interested in sponsoring the event.
And Tammy, that phone number is?
It's 626-3939.
Okay, great. And also, I guess if they called that number, they could possibly, if a viewer was interested in volunteering to help out the American Heart Association, would that be the number to call?
That would also be the number to call for volunteering. We need volunteers on a daily basis.
That's great. You heard Tammy Eaves say it, 843-626-3939. If you'd like to volunteer to help out the American Heart Association, or if you'd like to be involved with next year's Heart Ball, you can call ahead and lock in tickets or get involved in helping encourage someone to be a corporate sponsor. Call that number. Tammy, can you come back and talk to us a little more about the Heart Walk and the Ride-a-thon coming up?
I would love to.
Great. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next with Tammy Eaves. Welcome back to Carolina People. We're visiting with Tammy Eaves of the American Heart Association. Tammy, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for inviting.
Incredible to think about everything that went into the gala, that went into the 9th annual gala, and to think of all the funds that were raised to fight heart disease and strokes. But obviously there's two other huge events for the Waccamaw division. The Heart Walk, which is coming up 7 months from now, and then a couple weeks later, the Horseback Ride-a-thon. Getting ready for that is more than a 7-month period. I mean, you're going to need more than 7 months getting ready for the Heart Walk, and obviously you've been doing a lot. We're now trying to figure out who the Heart Walk chairperson will be.
Right.
There's surely a lot of effort that goes into that. Can you tell the viewers exactly what the Heart Walk is?
The Heart Walk is a accumulation of a lot of folks in our community who join forces to raise money for the Heart Association. Normally we recruit businesses and industry, and they recruit their employees to actually walk and raise money. We've had some incredible teams in the past. Grand Strand Regional Medical Center raised $22,000 2 years ago. So that was an incredible team. And Conway Medical Center raised over $12,000 last year. So employee bases can do a great job raising money for the walk. And of course, the walk is a little different than some of the other events we do. Not everybody likes to dress up in a tuxedo and come out to dinner for a heart ball, and not everybody can ride a horse in a horse ride, but everybody can walk. And walking is the best form of cardiovascular exercise that a person can do. So we encourage everybody to come out and walk.
Absolutely, and it's held where, Tammy?
Myrtle Beach Pavilion, and we meet at the pavilion, walk on the beach. It's a 3.5-mile walk.
Right.
So, and if folks can't endure that long, they can get out and walk as long as they can.
Right.
We have folks from all ages.
Absolutely. If you can't walk that far, can't get out there, as you say, and endure that, There's a health fair oftentimes out
Right.
there at the pavilion,
Right.
which is a big component, just getting out there that morning
Right.
in October to be a part of that.
Loris Healthcare System, for the last 2 years, has sponsored the health fair. They offered cholesterol screenings, blood pressure screenings, they even gave flu shots. So it's a wonderful opportunity for folks just to come out and join the health fair portion. So we also had clowns, face painting. We had all kinds of opportunities for kids to have fun. So it's a great family day.
Yes, yes. And Tammy, just a few weeks later, another huge event. Obviously, why we plugged the beginning of this show as Horses and Hearts today. Right. The Heart Association's, I think it'll be the 22nd annual Horseback Ride-a-thon. Correct. For viewers who may not know about the ride-a-thon or may not have been down to the beach for the years it's been held, or on 21st Avenue or some of the other locations, can you give the viewers a sense of exactly what the ride-a-thon is?
Sure. It is an equestrian event where folks bring their horses with them. And we have folks that come from as far away as Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee. They bring their horse with them. They ride on the beach. When the event first started, it was a one-day event held on Saturday. And because it has grown so enormously, and we've been able to secure a campground that will allow the horses to actually stay with the owners, it's actually a 5-day event. So it starts on November 5th, continues through the 9th. Folks can ride the horses on the beach each day. Of course, the long endurance ride, which is a 20-mile ride, is held on Saturday. And it's just even if you're not a horse person, don't own a horse, it's a beautiful event to get out and look at. Mm-hmm. We have folks who call us that come each year just to vacation in Myrtle Beach, and they select the week of the horse ride just so they can see that enormous impact of having 1,000 horses on the beach one day.
Golly, that must be powerful.
It is.
You said it's November 5th through the 9th.
That's right.
That experience, if you've never been out there, and this is the 22nd annual. Mm-hmm. Now, for years past, you've had it at locations like the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. Mm-hmm. You had it at Ocean Lakes Campground. Right. I think up on 21st Avenue in Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm. Last year, you went for the first time to Lakewood Family Camping Resort. Right. And Lakewood is committed again to host.
They have. We're very excited about the partnership with Lakewood. Our riders had a great experience there last year. The campground is huge, so it can certainly accommodate growth, which is what we hope to have this year. We had over 900 horses last year. We hope to have well over 1,000 this year. Mm-hmm. And the Perrys who own the campground are horse enthusiasts themselves. So that helps too. They understand equestrian events, and they welcomed us with open arms, and we're excited to go back there again this year.
Definitely. The Heart Association thanks the Perry family dramatically. How does the Heart Association raise money at this event, Tammy?
There is actually an entry fee, and it's $110 per horse and per rider. So it's just one entry fee, though. It's either for a horse or a rider. And folks can also raise money, and that's where we get a large percentage of our money. About $30,000 last year was raised from 10 top fundraisers, which is an incredible amount. This year we're excited that Gore Trailers is donating a 2-horse tag-along trailer that stayed at $12,000 as one of our grand prizes. So any person who raises $1,000, their name is going to be put in a drawing, and they win a $12,000 horse trailer. And if someone raises $5,000, their name will be put in the drawing 5 times. So the more you raise, the more opportunities you'll have to win that horse trailer.
Golly. And you've had a lot of folks in the past that have raised $1,000 or more.
Right, we have.
That's amazing.
Last year, our top 10 fundraisers, all 10 raised over $1,000, and we're hoping to increase those numbers this year. Do
you have any other great prizes, and how will those be awarded?
Yes, we have Saddle Wild West has given us a Circle Y saddle that's valued at $1,000. We have a corral, portable corral, which most of these people that attend the horse ride are folks that attend a lot of horse rides throughout the year, and they need portable corrals to put up wherever they're at. So we have one of those that's valued at over $2,000. as well as we'll have tons of other prizes. And the way we award those are our top 15 fundraisers. We will select the prizes that they get, and there'll be all prizes valued at $500 or more. And then, of course, we'll put other names in a hat and do sort of a door prize drawing for some of the other prizes, because we get a lot of equestrian-type prizes donated for this event.
So if a viewer had an equestrian-type product that could be donated, could they call your office to donate?
We'd love it. Love to have them. Or if they'd like to sponsor this event. It's a great opportunity for folks. 4 trailers came last year just to see what the event was like, and just from coming and experiencing it, they decided to donate this horse trailer. Right. Same thing with the folks that are donating the corral. So I would say anybody who is a horse enthusiast, that your market is to target people that are horse owners, this is an event you need to come to.
Right. And you could also be a trail sponsor. You could buy an ad in the program book. You could set up an exhibit booth after contacting your office, organize a team of riders, sell hearts.
That's right, all kinds of things.
There's a whole lot of things that could be done for this event, and that really means so much. Is there a website that viewers who may not be able to call your office could check out?
www.horsebackbeachride.com.
Okay, and they could check out those dates, and then check out, if they weren't staying at Lakewood Family Camping Resort, where they could stay at a local hotel close by. The website has that information.
That's correct.
www.horsebackbeachride.com.
That's correct.
Tammy, why do you think this event's been such a great success?
There are a lot of horse lovers throughout the United States, and we have done a great job, I think, of tapping those markets and working with saddle clubs to get them to bring. One person comes, they go back and tell everybody at home, and they bring a large group with them.
You heard Tammy Eaves say it. All over the nation, people will be traveling in November 5th for that weekend, 5th through the 9th, for the 22nd annual American Heart Association Horseback Ride-a-thon. It's coming up soon. Call the office, 843-626-3939, or go online at www.horsebackbeachride.com to learn more. Tammy, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. To pre-order tickets for next year's Heart Ball, or to find out more information about the Heart Walk or Horseback Ride-a-thon, call 843-626-3939.